Hi there. It is the 7th of May, 2019. This is Journal 41, T+35, 35 days since the transplant. If I sound much better than I did yesterday, it's because I feel much better than I did yesterday. It's amazing what red blood cells, platelets, anupogen shot for white blood cells, hydration, and all of that stuff will do for you. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit after I thank everybody that made their way here to Duarte, to the City of Hope, to donate platelets and blood cells. They give you a little yellow card that's on the package if the product, as they refer to it, as the product is hung on the IV tree, and that little card, manila colored card, has on it designated for, and there's something really amazing about seeing that card and getting the card and recognizing that somebody went out of their way and donated blood specifically for you, or platelets specifically for you, especially when you know what kind of a difference that's going to make in the way you feel and your ability to move freely without feeling like you're going to fall down. So to all of you who did that, I can't express my gratitude anywhere near close to enough for the way I feel. And it makes a huge difference. Leslie and I were out, and this is the second thing that I'd really kind of like to talk about this evening as well. And we'll probably spend more time focusing on each one of these three things later on in different blog posts, because I think they're that important. But while Leslie and I were out shopping, running around shopping, because there's a simple elegance of doing things, even mundane things, like shopping together, that is really very special. It's funny because a lot of people have kidded, joked around with us about, have you tried to kill him yet, or are you going to kill her yet, or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, we like hanging out together. We've always liked hanging out together. We're very comfortable hanging out together, and now we feel absolutely blessed for the small, simple elegance of sharing time in a Sprouts or a Trader Joe's or a Smart and Final or a Vons or wherever. But I turned around to Leslie because I felt good this morning. I mean, felt even better this morning than I feel right now. And I said, recognizing that bump in my hemoglobin that the red blood cells caused is going to be a couple of points, maybe a point and a half. And recognizing that it's still low, there's no telling what I'll be able to accomplish once my hemoglobin goes back to normal, which is something to hope for, something to pray for. And the other thing was, this afternoon I was sitting here, I was going through some mail and paying bills. Yeah, I know, paying bills. And you recognize that the world goes on. It's not going to stop for you. It's not going to wait for you. The bills still need to get paid, and you still need to pay them, which means that you're going to be dealing with support calls because passwords don't work anymore, and because other people's websites suck rocks. I was on with the company that picks up our trash in Simi Valley, and I finally, after 10 or 15 minutes of being on hold while you keep getting a message telling you how important you are. I think there's a really good lesson in customer service here, by the way. If you're in business or you serve the public in some way, you know, that you get this very professional voice saying, "You're important to us, so please stay on the line. We're, experiencing unusually high traffic," which is a recording and comes on whether they're receiving exceptionally high traffic or not. And you get the feeling that if they were really concerned about their customer service and what you thought and how you acted, they'd probably have one other person on the telephone, so you wouldn't have to wait 10 minutes to talk to a human being and then have to fight like hell to try and, tell your stories well enough for them to understand it and recognize what's going on. Like that's the only thing that you have to do during the day. But they're in trouble because with me, that pretty much is the only thing I have to do all day. So I don't mind doing it. It's almost a distraction, a diversion. So those are three things that I think that are worth thinking about, in our own lives, because we take so much for granted, and we're so busy, either experiencing remorse about what happened in the past or being fearful of what might happen in the future, 90% of which rarely does, especially those things that you're most fearful of. And the statistical probabilities are that something that you're not thinking about all the time is going to happen in your life that will give you lots of different reasons to feel fearful about. I know that's certainly what happened to me. And I know enough other people that it's happened to make it a real possibility. But you can't be afraid of everything, and you can't be afraid to function. You can't be afraid to live. And that, to a degree, that's one of the reasons that the blood and the platelets and everything that's going on here at the City of Hope is so important, is because that difference that a unit of blood can make is critical. I mean, the difference between being functional and not being functional. So there's a certain amount of time, I think, that would be better spent if we all focused on the present and left the past and future to themselves. I remember reading in a book, and I don't remember the name of the book, but I do remember saying that anxiety about the past is focused on something that has already happened, over which you have no control, and fear is anxiety about something that may happen in the future, generally speaking, over which you have little or no control either. So the best place to spend your time is in the present, where you are right now, this moment, who you're with. And there are lessons there. I just looked at my T-shirt, and I think, anybody who's seen that commercial about the kid that takes his sweater off and sees his T-shirt, I'm looking at my T-shirt. I think that's very relaxed T-shirt. You'll know the commercial if you've seen it. There's a lot to be said for spending that time with someone you love and somebody who loves you, somebody who takes the vows that you took seriously, as do you. And it's important to recognize while you're focusing on all of those things and you're thinking about all of those things, some of which are very esoteric and have high emotional content, that you recognize that the world goes on, and you're going to have to pay your bills, and you're going to have to make your telephone calls, and you're going to have to do your banking, and you're going to have to take care of everything else, which is even much more difficult when you're 60 miles from home and you're doing everything remotely. And I'll leave you to ponder those thoughts this evening. on what did I say, T+35 and May 7th. So until the next time we get together, stay well, take care. I want to thank you. I'm grateful and mindful of the time that we spend together and the fact that you're watching. It means a lot to me, and it means even more when you reach out and we get a chance to go ahead and communicate on a different level. So thank you very much for all of that. Stay well and take care. Bye-bye.